Erol Morkoc. Erol, thank you very much. Your initial reaction to this absolutely bombshell verdict, former President Trump guilty on 34 counts.
Well, thank you for having me in this most historical moment. I guess the takeaway I have is initially not partisan or political, but as an American. And it just tells me how much hate one half of this country has for the other half. Because regardless of who Donald Trump is and what Donald Trump has done as president or as a private citizen, everybody with any sort of rationality would realize that these charges are a complete overreach of justice. This is a weaponized trial. They're launching it specifically right before an election. They somehow believe that turning our candidate into a martyr is an ideal strategy, which is, I believe, going to backfire. Personally, I'm baffled. I thought there was going to be at least one decent man, woman, or other who was going to be on that jury, who was going to stand up for the values in the country that I grew up in.
Can I just look? Thank you for this. Can I just interject, because I am getting some breaking news in my ear, as you would imagine, on an event like this. I'm going to ask you to preempt something for me, if that's all right. Look in your crystal ball, Errol. We're going to be hearing from the district attorney, supposedly in the next few minutes. There's a podium at the ready here. What is he going to say, Errol?
He's going to say, I got him. He's going to say that I ran on targeted persecution of a citizen, and I got him. And I got him for you, my voters, the people here who did this. And he's going to be right. He did achieve what he promised he would do. And history's never going to forgive him for that. There's ramifications to all behavior, and this one is going to cross a line. But this is a moment of jubilance and celebration for the corrupt cabal of Biden actors who have essentially tried to play the final card before the election. This stops the president from campaigning. You'll expect to hear the DA revel in that ability. If imagine Donald Trump is put into prison, which, by the way, I dare them to do it. I dare them to do that. Prove themselves right and see how much of an overreach that is, because the American people aren't as foolish as the people of New York City obviously are.
If you're just joining us now, again, I'm going to tell you what you're looking at here. So this is New York City, and we are about to hear from the district attorney, who has now made history, be the first district attorney that has got a conviction from a former or serving US president. Trump has been found guilty on all 34 counts. There's a bank of media in front of that podium. The second that district attorney comes out there, we will take that for you. But what is interesting, Errol, as well, is that there appears to be a little bit of drama here going on, all right? So I can see two, I don't think they are whiteboards. I suspect there's something behind those things there. This has been prepared, hasn't it? Quite significantly. You can tell we appear to be looking at a lectern here that is about to be used for a solidly pre-prepared and pre-planned interview and statement in anticipation of having found this guy guilty in front of the gawping media, Errol.
Not only that, which is absolutely correct on all counts, but they knew this and they flaunted it the other day by sending Robert De Niro down as an official Biden-Harris campaign apartchik who went and made these ridiculous announcements. They wouldn't have done that if they didn't already know the verdict. This verdict came out immediately. It was a cooked and booked thing. It's basically like betting on Turkish third division soccer. It's not legitimate. This election and this thing is being influenced by outside actors in a way that has never crossed a line. It's a proverbial Rubicon. Yes, there's political gamesmanship. Yes, there's been legal attacks, but never have they crossed the line into criminal persecution of a citizen. And this is going to reverberate in ways I can't imagine. I'm getting texts from people on the left, people on the right, people out of the country. It's a human instinct. This is obviously corruption. And it's obviously going to corrupt our electoral process.
Let me just emphasize what's happening. I mean, we were right. They've turned those whiteboards around. I can't make out exactly what's on them now, but we're going to be told soon. There's a gentleman there who's at that microphone, testing the microphone. The press, they're all ready. They're all waiting. There's a bank of photographers and a bank of journalists. They are getting a little bit of a snapshot, so hopefully we'll see this on social media and we can bring that to you if there is a delay here of what is on those boards. What do we know about Alvin Bragg? This is the man that any moment now is going to take to that microphone and say, Trump, We got him. What do we know about Alvin Bragg, the district attorney?
Well, we know that President Trump refers to him as Fat Alvin, so we can start with that. But going from there, he's a vindictive, petty individual who has brought a case that nobody else would take. The state of New York wouldn't take it. The federal government wouldn't take it. But Alvin Bragg, this individual here, believes that he's above all forms of the process, and he's going to be the one who takes it. So he's a megalomaniac. He's a narcissist. This is his 15 minutes of fame that he's stretched out into a year. And now, against my biggest wishes, this man has had a substantive and real impact on the way this election is going to go. And that's terrible for the country because he does not represent anybody, let alone the good people of New York, who I thought one of them at least would be on this jury. So Alvin Bragg cooked and booked it, and now he's going to have his moment of, I guess, glory over all of the people in this country, the 80 million Trump supporters who are watching their political candidate for president be put into prison potentially for truncated charges based on nothing.
The sentencing date is going to be the 11th of July 2024, so we have that to look forward to, I suppose, if that's one way of putting it anyway. You are adamant that this is going to work in Trump's favour. The breaking news that Nigel Farage brought to us not so long ago was that apparently the donation site on Donald Trump's website has crashed, which implies that so many people are now desperately trying to get the information, get some donations there to him. Yeah, and what you're looking at now, again, I'll just emphasise, the district attorney is expected to give a statement any moment now. When you say, though, that he brought a case against Trump that nobody else would, I mean, look, is that strictly true? Because there are actually already quite a lot of other cases against Trump. So clearly people were happy to bring them against him in Georgia. They were happy to bring it against him elsewhere as well.
Those cases were related directly to at least something that you could tie to reality, I would say. Yeah. I mean, if you look at the records cases, the classified documents, there were physically documents in Mar-a-Lago. Like we just dispute who can declassify and this and that, just as Joe Biden had documents in his garage. But this case was so far beyond the realm of reality. We're saying that by paying Stormy Daniels this hush money and technicality of calling a legal payment, this impacted the entire 2016 election.
I've got to ask. Do you just not believe that Donald Trump had sex with Stormy Daniels and then paid her off?
Well, I believe that he has a sworn affidavit from her saying that they didn't have an affair. And he denies it, and she had to deny it, and she has to pay him over $500,000 in legal fees based on him winning the lawsuit against her. So based on that, yes, I don't think that it happened. I have no reason to disbelieve the president.
Okay, because I mean, if it did happen, the other aspect of this, which we've not actually discussed yet, is, you know, as a conservative, as a Republican, the idea of an affair with a porn star, no less, and then lying about it whilst, and you'll correct me if I'm wrong on this, Errol, but whilst married, I believe. You know, that wouldn't play well with the base, would it?
It wouldn't play well with the base if the base was stereotyped as a very, you know, puritanical evangelical base. But we have a big tent, and America has a 50% divorce rate, and majority of divorces based on infidelity. So if anything, Americans, at least statistically, understand a flawed candidate. If that is how they see him, I don't think that Donald Trump is alone in having erred. And even the Christian voters often point to the fact that God chooses interesting people, this and that. So